Hey, welcome back. Have you ever looked up at the night sky, at the sheer vastness of it, and felt a quiet, persistent question in the back of your mind? Are we really alone? For most of us, it's a philosophical thought. But for a small, secretive office deep within the Pentagon, for years, it was a literal line item in the U.S. defense budget. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is the Unexplained Archive. Today, we're pulling up a chair at the Pentagon's UFO desk. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and officially acknowledged government programs to ever study the unexplained, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or AATIP. This isn't about grainy YouTube videos from the 90s. This is about a multi-million-dollar Department of Defense initiative that ran from 2007 to 2012, studying encounters between U.S. military assets and objects that defied our understanding of physics. And the unclassified findings they left behind, they're more compelling than any science fiction. The story really broke into the public consciousness in late 2017 when the New York Times published a bombshell article. It revealed the existence of this shadowy Pentagon program, along with declassified Navy videos showing encounters with what they called unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. The most famous, the Tic Tac video from 2004, shows a smooth, white, oblong object tracked by the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group. It had no visible wings, no exhaust plumes, and according to the pilots, it demonstrated acceleration and maneuverability that seemed to violate the known laws of aerodynamics. This wasn't a lone pilot story. It was radar data, infrared targeting systems, and multiple eyewitness accounts from highly trained personnel. And it was the Pentagon itself confirming it was real. So what was AATIP actually doing? According to the officials who ran it, like former intelligence officer Luis Elizondo, its mission was to investigate and identify potential threats to U.S. national security from advanced aerospace technologies. They collected and analyzed reports, mostly from military personnel, of encounters with objects that performed in ways we simply couldn't explain. Think about that job description for a second. Your daily work involves sifting through reports where the world's most advanced pilots and radar operators are essentially saying, "I saw something that shouldn't be possible." The program reportedly studied a range of phenomena, but the most intriguing cases involved these craft-like objects. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for us. While the bulk of AATIP's work remains classified, a trove of documents and briefings were provided to the U.S. Senate, and some of the program's research papers were made public. These papers, often written by defense contractors and scientists, don't talk about little green men. They talk about physics. They explore concepts that sound like they're ripped from a theoretical physicist's whiteboard. Warp drives, traversable wormholes, extra-dimensional travel, and the manipulation of space-time itself. One paper discusses how a warp drive could, in theory, allow for fast and light travel without breaking Einstein's speed limit, by contracting space-time in front of a craft and expanding it behind. Another delves into the potential health effects on humans from close proximity to these advanced propulsion systems. This wasn't fringe literature, it was work funded by the Pentagon and presented to the Defense Intelligence Agency. Reading these documents, I'm struck not by a sense of fantasy, but by a profound shift in perspective. As an engineer, I'm trained to look for the known failure modes, the logical explanations. Sensor glitches, weather phenomena, secret U.S. technology. And all of those are still very much on the table as explanations for individual cases. But the unclassified findings of AATIP point to something else. A serious, scientific effort to model how something could behave the way these objects have been observed to behave. They're essentially reverse engineering the theoretical physics needed to accomplish the maneuvers described by our pilots. It forces a humbling question. If the math checks out, however theoretically, then what are we actually looking at? There's a personal layer to this for me. Growing up in Bangladesh, the sky felt different. Less cluttered, more profound. The stories we heard were older, woven into folklore and the mysteries of an ancient land. Moving to New York, to a world of concrete and code, I never lost that sense of wonder looking up. But AATIP represents a fascinating collision of those two worlds, the deep, human wonder at the unknown, meeting the cold, precise rigor of military-grade investigation. It's not about belief, it's about data. And the data, as former Navy pilot Commander David Fravor said of the Tic Tac, presents a constant acceleration that challenges everything we know. So, what's the takeaway from the Pentagon's own UFO desk? For me, it's this. The greatest mystery of our time is no longer relegated to the fringes. It has a paper trail, a budget code, and the testimonies of some of the most credible witnesses on the planet. AATIP didn't solve the mystery. In many ways, it deepened it, but it legitimized the question. It moved the conversation from "do you believe in UFOs?" to "what are these things, and how are they doing what they're doing?" The program may have ended, but its legacy is a permanent crack in the door of official denial. We are now in an era where the U.S. government has a UAP task force, where pilots are encouraged to report encounters without fear of ridicule, and where Congress is holding hearings on the subject. The conversation has fundamentally changed. The universe, as we're slowly learning, is far stranger and more capable of surprise than we ever imagined. Our job is to stay curious, to look up, and to demand thoughtful, transparent inquiry. The archive of the unexplained just got a lot more official. Thanks for listening. If you found this dive into the Pentagon's files compelling, please share this episode with someone else who looks up at the sky and wonders. For more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries, subscribe to the Unexplained Archive wherever you get your podcasts. This is Ibnul J. Farabi for Light Not Studios. Visit us at lightnotstudios.com. Until next time, keep questioning.